world-renowned concert pianist, is here, and I'm going to ask the obvious question: what is a concert pianist doing on a library show?
Well, that's a good question. The libraries and piano masterworks for everyone actually are the perfect marriage. This is really the marriage made in heaven, because the great masters, and I'll name a few, Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, were intent on having their music shared by everyone without regard to social distinction, income, rank, and the library is the only venue that we have available to us which is simply inclusive. It's completely and utterly non-exclusive. It includes everyone. It is free. It is open to the public. So when you play Mozart for a library audience, there is no one who is excluded because of the fact they can't afford a ticket. They can't be there because of any sort of exclusion. So the library is very much, when music and libraries really go together in that sense, it is a marvelous resource. Everybody walks down the street and hears the birds twittering. It is free. You know, the birds are absolutely unaware of a VIP audience. And likewise with the libraries. When you walk through the door of a public library, you're in a palpable, concrete manifestation of the very word freedom. Freedom is embodied in the public library. You know, and it goes back in history. Everybody credits Benjamin Franklin for founding the first free library, the Free Library of Philadelphia. However, actually before Benjamin Franklin had that idea, a group of men in Darby, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia, got together and had the idea that their books were exclusive possessions of the individual owners, and they ought to get together and pool their book resources and open a reading room in their town where the entire populace could go and check out the books that they owned for free. That's the first public library. It still exists. It's the oldest in the nation. So when you mention library, I have to say, don't get me started. Because I think about libraries, I live, breathe, and dream libraries and music, and specifically the music of the master composers. So it's just such a natural marriage. That's, I love libraries, and I love the master composer's message, which I think, you know, Beethoven said, here's a kiss. Well, who's the kiss for? For all the world. He didn't exclude anyone from his music. So when I play Beethoven in the library, I am actually performing for Beethoven's intended audience, everyone, anybody who wants to come. So I love it.
Well, in fact, you're doing a series of concerts here at the downtown library, aren't you?
Right. You know, and the concerts begin on the first Sunday of March and then continue the second Sunday of April, May, and June, so that each one is dedicated to a specific master composer. In March, we're hearing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and some other pieces that he wrote. And I always am inspired when I look at what's happening in libraries across the country, that libraries are very much about storytelling. So I like to not just give a piano concert, but tell the stories of the composers and what they were up to when they made the music, and the story behind the Moonlight Sonata, what Beethoven was doing at that time, what he was going through, etc. So, you know, it's an extension of the library's function as the storytelling place of the community.
And you certainly encourage children to come to the concerts.
I'm glad to say that I've been on a 6-year, this is my 6th annual Beethoven concert at the Metropolitan Library downtown. And it has come now to be that people are bringing their children, because there is a general conception that, well, maybe we shouldn't bring the children to a classical.
Well, when you go
to
yeah, you go to the Civic Center, everybody's dressed up, everybody's very solemn,
right,
and so on. And,
yeah.
and
Yes, when you come to the library concert, you can be dressed up if you like, or you can be, and you know, you can bring your infant. I've had fathers with their infant children in their arms at my concerts, and so far our oldest participant has been 101-year-old.
Oh my!
On the Mother's Day concert last year.
Now, you also do concerts around the state, don't you?
Around the state. Thanks for mentioning it. And I have to thank, there are sponsors always for these concerts from within the library system and within the state and within the community, so that these concerts that we're now doing are in honor of a great librarian, Ernestine Hill Clark. It's called, the series is named after her, and they are sponsored by the Library Endowment Trust. The Friends of the Library sponsors concerts, and my statewide tour of Oklahoma libraries is being sponsored now by the Oklahoma Humanities Council. And I get to go to very exotic places. I mean, you don't have to leave the country to visit exotic lands. Hooker in the Panhandle, Talihina, Worcester down in the southeast, so that it's a great thing that the libraries are doing to outreach into the community. You know, a small, tiny Luther library sent me into the elementary school. And when I played in Hooker, we went into the elementary school. It was a program for the entire community.
Well, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with all this.
Yeah, fun is what it's all about. And, you know, it's like, and then, you know, our interviews here, the last one I had with you, has been viewed all over the country, so that I can talk through our interview here to the Somers Library in New York, and to the New York Public Library, and the Cincinnati Library, and the San Diego Library, and librarians in Los Angeles, and Yokohama, and Kyoto, so Stockholm.
Right.
So it's a great way to communicate.
It certainly is. Now let's very briefly go over again the concerts you're doing at the Downtown Library the first Sunday of March.
Yes.
And then after that it's
the second Sunday. April will be the Serenity of Bach, which is a wonderful opportunity just to, for 1 hour, just set all your cares aside and come into the library, to the beautiful 46th Star Auditorium, and just enjoy an hour of absolute serenity. In May, we have the Mother's Day concert on the second Sunday, and in April, it is the Piano Masterworks for everyone, but especially for children. So it's the Piano Masterworks for children, specifically in April.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us today, Wayne.
Thank you, BJ.
Wayne McEvilly has been here talking about piano and library, or music and libraries. You can find out more specifics by visiting our website at www.metrolibrary.org, or ask your local librarian.